What's going on, people? We are Tottenham TV here, back again with another episode of the Tottenham Hour. I'm joined here by my brother, of course, Ben Daniel. I've got the Irish Hotspur, as always. And who else is filling in? Unfortunately, Matt Hayes is unavailable for the Tottenham Hour this week. But we don't lose any quality as we have the brilliant Brian Daigle in the house today. How are we doing today, Brian?
Debut on the Tottenham Hour. Don't forget the debut.
Yeah, I popped another cherry of We Are Tottenham TV's content, so I'm delighted. What I will say, though, guys, is I can't see you on my screen. I can only see the Tottenham Hour thing, but I can see you on my phone on YouTube, so that's all good.
Okay, that's interesting. You can't see us on the screen.
Let me just fix that for 1 second.
Brian is flying blind, and I love it.
Right.
I'm all for it. David, how are we feeling today? Lovely to have you back on the Tottenham Hour, as always.
No, look, I'm absolutely buzzing. All I wanted to do was spoil the quadruple, and that's exactly what we've done. So, look, it was a great result. I'm very happy with it. Could have won it at the end. But, look, you know, we don't get too many results up there. So we got a point against all the odds. Nobody gave us a chance, so we should be proud of the team.
All right, well, look, Brian is seems to be fiddling with something, so we'll start with David.
I'm here.
He's here loud and clear. Love it.
Wait, Brian, I think all you need to do is just refresh your screen and it should change.
Let's have a look.
All right, hopefully we don't lose Brian. Oh, there we go, and he's a goner. No, that was Brian Daigle, everyone. Lovely to have him on the show. David Harris, we'll come to you first. Look, it was obviously a very good in performance on Saturday. We went to the one of the best teams in world football, one of the best teams in Europe. We can hear you, Brian. Don't worry. I don't know if he knows that. Anyway,
can you hear us, Brian?
Brian? Oh, I don't know what's going on there. Look, we'll start with David first. David, it was a fantastic performance on Saturday.
Hello?
Can you? God. Oh God, what is going on?
Brian, can you hear us?
I think I can hear you guys, but now I can't see nothing at all.
Love it. What a brilliant start to the show, Daigle. And as always, Daigle in. Come on.
Oh, Jesus.
Brian? Is he all right?
Right,
oh
you can
God.
see me.
Yes.
I can't hear you, Sim. I can't hear a God. I'm going to sign out and sign back in.
All right. Come on, Brian. We want to get the show on the road. I can see you, but you can't see me. Come on, Brian.
Daigle.
We'll try this again, David. You're still there, thankfully.
I'm lucky.
Third time lucky. Look, it was an excellent display from Tottenham of resilience, of a tactical display. You can argue a near tactical masterclass on Saturday. But did the point help us in the grand scheme of things?
Look, The way I look at it is it's a point gained because nobody gave us a hope in hell in going to one of the best teams, if not the best team in Europe, and getting a result whatsoever, bar maybe me because I'm that deluded. But look, it doesn't really help us because it doesn't really put top four in our favour. I mean, if we would have bet Liverpool, it would still keep top four in our favour because we would just have to beat Arsenal and Norwich and Burnley. But for me, I still think it's a help because, look, Arsenal still have to go, still have to play Everton last game of the season. Everton is still in a relegation battle there. And if we beat Arsenal, the pressure going into the could go right down to the wire. But the way I like to look at it, though, Sim, to be honest with you, is that, look, if we beat Arsenal and we win the remainder of our games after that, and we've done everything we can from here on out, if we get it, credit to the boys. And if we don't get it, I'm proud for turning the season around from where we were, earlier on in the season. But yeah, look, a Conte masterclass overall, Sim. I mean, defensively, it was a 5-4-1, sat the midfield right on top of the defence, who more or less sat on the 18-yard box, or if not a bit deeper. And Liverpool couldn't play through us, round us, or in behind us. And that's exactly, game plan work to a T.
Yeah, and Brian, are you with us? Can you hear us? Are we all good? No, still not. Is he there?
I can only hear David.
Oh my God. Maybe we start communicating. David, can you tell Brian? Oh my God. All right, Ben. Jurgen Klopp after the game had a lot of words to say, didn't he? He said, our plan worked, but we're still fifth. And what did you have to make from those comments when he said that?
He was spot on, to be honest. I mean, our game plan did work. It was only kind of ruined by a massive deflected goal from Liverpool to seal the draw at the end of the day. So, I mean, in terms of the game plan, it did work, barring that one deflected goal, which was so lucky for Liverpool. But at the end of the day, the result, in my opinion, was not good enough for us. We needed a win to go into that North London derby within touching distance of Arsenal. So I actually left the stadium quite dejected on Saturday night. I was very happy with the performance. I was proud of the lads, the way we fought and the way we defended. But I think he's spot on in terms of the fact that a draw wasn't good enough for us in terms of our top four charge.
Well, seeing the fact that it was in our hands before the game and it's no longer in our hands, and that's just the reality. I'm not sure what's happened to Brian. We'll try and get him back, but we'll go to you, David. What was your reaction first of all to were you dejected after the game, or were you just happy with the point? And what's your opinion on what Klopp had to say after the game?
No, look, I wasn't dejected whatsoever, to be honest with you. Look, if we don't get top four, it wasn't lost. It wasn't lost at the weekend at Anfield. It was lost against Brentford. It was lost against Brighton. It was lost when we couldn't hold on against United. It was lost against Burnley off the back of the City win. They're the games where top four is being lost, not this Liverpool game. I wasn't dejected whatsoever. I was actually ecstatic, to be honest with you. Look, I've been heartbroken with Liverpool in the Champions League final, and time and time again with them, scoring late and stuff like that. And we do not get results up there whatsoever. I was absolutely ecstatic with the result. And people call me, people are going to say deluded, or how can you, top four is not in our hands. But for me, a bit of perspective on it is, like I said, top four was lost through them other games and teams where we should be beaten, not going into Anfield, where they're just buzzing off the back of getting to a Champions League final. They wanted to beat us to keep the quadruple hopes alive. And we've now turned that Liverpool team from supposedly one of the greatest Liverpool teams going to now just an ordinary average Liverpool team. And for me, we absolutely stifled them. They couldn't even get their best players into the game. Salah and Mane were completely missing. Thiago didn't have the effect that he's had against other teams. For me, I think it was a great performance. And I'm happy with it. I just, like I said, I think it was lost before this Liverpool game if we don't get it. But in terms of Jurgen Klopp's comments, I mean, I expect that when a baby's thrown, he ties out the pram, to be honest with you, because we absolutely ruined the quadruple. Look, this Liverpool team, people were this is the greatest Liverpool team going, to be on all four fronts. But the league title is one of the major ones you need. If they go and win the FA Cup and they've already won the Carabao Cup, and then they don't win the Champions League, then that just goes down as an average Liverpool team. And we've done that to Mice, and it's a bit of payback for the Champions League final.
I get what you're saying, David, but the fact of the matter is, yeah, you're completely right in what you're saying. Top four is not going to be lost at Anfield. It was lost when we lost to Brighton, drew with Brentford, Wolves, Southampton, these kind of fixtures. That's where top four was lost. But when you put in such a great performance at Anfield, such a great defensive display, and the only way that they score is a deflection 15 minutes from time, and, such a great display, a display that all Spurs fans can be proud of, that's for sure. And then that chance comes right at the end when Højbjerg either could have left it for Bergwijn or found Harry Kane at the back post. That's why I was dejected, because the 3 points was literally there for us and we could have got it. That's why I was dejected, because if we would have won that game, first of all, Arsenal would have been shitting themselves going into it on Thursday. And second of all, we put ourselves in a very, very good position.
But look, 100%, I get you. I mean, look, that loss at the end, it's kind of like what could have been. It's the same when we played them at home. It's the same sort of situation. We had chances. We could have won the goal. Mo Salah had a handball, when he scored his goal. But overall, I get it. I mean, look, I would have loved to come out there with a win, and we missed them chances. But we also have to look at the situation we've been in this season, the state of the squad and stuff like that. To come out of there, with a point and still keep our top four hopes alive, when they could have easily, with a loss, they probably would have been over. For me, I'm absolutely proud of the boys, and I'm happy with the result, to be honest with you.
Fair enough. Klopp did say today in a press conference before the Aston Villa game that he was asked, would he say that again, what he said after the game, if he given the opportunity. He said no. He said he can't have more respect for Conte and what he does, and he said that it felt good at the moment to say what he said, but he probably feels like he shouldn't have said what he had to say after the game, and maybe it was a bit disrespectful to the way we play. Let's try and bring Brian Daigle into this. Brian, what was your opinion on the point yesterday, on the point on Saturday, and whether it was more of a help than a hindrance to us? No, not going to happen. No, I can't hear him now. You're muted, Brian.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, now I can hear you, yeah.
Yeah.
I'm not. Can you hear me?
Yeah, now I can hear you, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, I think there's a bit of a lag there now. I don't know what's happening here.
Just talk for a bit.
So yeah, was it a point gained or was it 2 points dropped? I still think it's a point gained. I still think. Can you hear me? Gained or was it 2 points dropped? I still think it's a point gained. I still think. Can you hear me? Gained or was it 2 points dropped?
All right. We'll try and get Brian sorted. Again, apologies about the technical difficulty. It always seems to happen on the Tottenham Hour for some reason. But David, look, Arsenal won again on Sunday. They just about scraped past 10-man leads, 2-1. We're now 4 points behind them going into the North London derby. So does them winning and them going further ahead, does that make it all the more difficult for us to take that we didn't win on Saturday?
Yeah, of course it does. I mean, look, when Arsenal got the result yesterday, I was a bit dejected after that. But at the end of the day, look, we beat Arsenal. We closed the gap to 1 point, and anything can happen in football. It's and with the 2 games left to go, they've got Newcastle to go, who are at home, and they'll probably want to put in a performance in front of their home crowd and have a good send off there. And then they've got Everton, who are still scrapping for relegation, and what we've done by picking up that point, they now have to go and win their last 2 games. So if we win Thursday and then we win again on Sunday, Arsenal aren't playing till Monday night. And the last Monday night football they played against Palace, they ended up getting smacked.
Yeah, sorry about that. 1 second, David. Apparently my audio's not great. We'll try and get that sorted as well.
Just listen to it. It sounded fine. It's crackling again. Change it to the stereo.
All right, give us a sec, David. 1 second. We'll try and get that sorted. In terms of Arsenal, though, Obviously, we have to win now on Thursday. No other result is satisfactory. A draw's not good enough. Obviously, a loss gives Arsenal mathematical certainty over Champions League, and that's a horrific situation to be in. But do you believe if we win our next 3 games, we will be in the Champions League next season?
Do you know what? I do. I do believe it, I do. Look, until mathematically it tells me it's not possible, I will always believe. And I just feel like, I said a long time ago on one of the pre-match pump-ups, it's now in God's hands. And I just feel like he's going to do me one last good favour. Look, he has to reward me for my belief all the way throughout the season that we would make top 4, And look, at the end of the day, we've made an unbelievable turnaround this season to be able to get where we are. 2 signings in January have completely changed our fortunes. Conte coming in has completely changed our fortunes. Look, inconsistency has probably been our kryptonite this season. But at the end of the day, regardless whether we were in the top 4 race or not, I would still want to absolutely smash Arsenal up because it's our home ground and we cannot let our rivals come into our own turf and do us up like that. So no matter what the situation is, ever, we've got to turn up against Arsenal regardless. But we beat them. The mentality changes all of a sudden. And we give them a good hiding as well. They're like, well, hang on, this Tottenham team aren't going to give up the last 2 games. And there's doubts that creep in. But I also look at Arsenal's team. There's a lot of young players in that team. Pressure will crack on one of them eventually. It will crack and they will make that mistake. I believe we will get it. I believe it'll go into the Everton game. But I just have a sneaky suspicion Everton will do us a favour, especially if they still have to win to stay up or even try and get a point to stay up. Because all we need is Arsenal just to draw one of them. It's all we need, and we beat Arsenal, win our games against Burnley and Norwich. Top 4 is ours, but I still believe. I will never stop believing.
Do you reckon Arsenal look at our performance against Liverpool and are worried by how we didn't roll over for them and how hard we made it for Liverpool to score, and maybe they think in the North London derby, well, if they can play that well against Liverpool, it's going to be very, very difficult to play against.
Yeah, I think so, but I also believe that they'll expect us to come out and play a bit, be on the front foot a bit more than what we were against Liverpool. But what we have done is that we have set up a shape that, if Arsenal do get a bit of momentum into the game, that we can resort to be able to stifle it and then just break like we've done on Liverpool with the 4 or 5 players going forward, because we have the quality in them players and the likes of Kulusevski, Kane, Son, Session on one side, Emerson on the other side, to be able to create some chances against the Gunners. Look, I still think one interesting thing is, though, that Arsenal do not concede from set pieces whatsoever. So I would like to see us maybe do a few training ground set pieces going into that game, because they don't concede much. But I do think Arsenal will be a bit worried, to be honest. I think they were hoping that we would be on the back of a hiding, that we'd be going into this with top 4 completely over, more or less. And that they could coast in this game and just come in and get a draw. But and I still think they're going to come in and look to get a draw. But look, at the end of the day, the onus is on us to break them down. And I think you'll see them be more of the pragmatic side, especially in the first half, than maybe us.
Yeah. Do you think Arsenal go into this North London derby looking for a draw? Seeing as that's a good enough result for them, really, going to the next couple of games.
I think they go into it. I think they go into it 5 at the back, putting men behind the ball, trying to frustrate us. And I think I think they do think a draw is probably good enough in this game. And we got to get the early goal. I think an early goal is key in this game. And if we can get an early goal, we can really put the sword to them as well, because then they're going to need to come out. They're really going to need to put men forward and really start going on the attack. And it can really play into our hands. We need to go out full guns blazing, no pun intended there, in the first 20 minutes and just really try and get that goal, get in behind them, get amongst them. Try, someone's got to squeeze Xhaka's nipples and squeeze his ears and stuff like that. Get him rowdy, get him sent off and that kind of stuff. And they're a young team. You can get into them and really frustrate them, and you never know what can happen. And this Arsenal team, as much as people have been impressed by them in the past couple of weeks for getting over the line, I look at their games and I've not been impressed with them whatsoever. I felt like teams are just laying down, giving them goals, being tackled on the goal line, Christensen passing it back to the keeper, a really short pass, Man United just throwing lazy legs. I mean, when is it going to come to a stage where teams just don't give Arsenal goals? Surely the tide has got to turn at some point, because they've been just getting super lucky. But I do agree that they come to White Hart Lane and just look for a draw.
But we also have a lot more steel and aggressiveness in this team that maybe we didn't have in the last North London derby. You know, I think, look, Romero's on the top of his game. He's absolutely, crunching players left, right, and centre at the minute. You've got a good partnership in the midfield that provides a bit more steel in there of Højbjerg and Bentancur. You've got Emerson now playing at right back, and I don't care what people say. He was absolutely fantastic against Liverpool, in my opinion, on both sides of the game, defensively and going forward.
Where did that passing range come from, Dave?
I do not know. I think he must have took some of my FIFA lessons, to be honest with you. I thought it was a different Emerson taking up the ones, but it wasn't. But look, I don't know. I do not know where it's come from, but he deserves a lot of credit. And look, if he can bring that into the Arsenal game, all credit for us. It means we can attack down both flanks with a bit of quality, because Session brought a bit of quality against Liverpool as well. But look, I'm not scared of this Arsenal team. We have a lot more about us. We have a structure. We have a settled formation. We have more or less a settled lineup going into this game, which we did not have under Nuno when we played them and got spanked by them. The game was over at half-time last time we played them, but the difference is we now have the ability to also do the same this time.
Sorry,
what's going on in the background there?
There's Brian. Can you move Brian?
Is Brian there?
Yeah, it's Brian.
Can you mute him?
There
we go. It's a nice peace and quiet for us now without hearing us speak. But no, carry on with what you were saying, Dave. I don't think we heard you there.
Oh, I was just saying that we've a lot more about us this time. Look, under Nuno, we were disjointed. Nobody was putting in performances. Nobody liked Nuno. He was too cold. But going into this game, we've got a fiery manager who will not take shit from Arteta. I mean, we've seen images of Højbjerg standing over Arteta in pre-season with the Arsenal players doing nothing. You've got Romero, who's just, nobody wants to come near the guy down his side, because if you watch the games now, when players coming near him, they look to pass it off because they know what he's all about now. His reputation is preceding him. You've got Dyer. Davies put his body on the line there against Liverpool. Emerson's coming to the fore. Session down the other side. We have a lot more better chance going into this North London derby, and we're in a much better place. And Conte has the tactics. I mean, what the Liverpool game proved to me, and whether we're disappointed or happy with it, the one takeaway that I think everybody can take from it is that no matter what, we have a manager now, no matter the situation or the players he has, we can get a result against anybody.
I don't care what anyone says. We're a better team than Arsenal. We just are. I think it's a fact of the matter. We're a better team than Arsenal. And when you look at it, I think Spurs can beat anyone on their day. If we come out there with the mentality that we're going to win, we can beat anyone on our day. And you can't say the same for Arsenal. They had their best performance of the season against Man City and still got beat. You know what I mean?
No, 100%. But look, I want to see us rough them up from in the first few minutes. Lay down a marker, put in a couple of harsh challenges, like you said. Wind up Granit Xhaka, you know what I mean? Crunch that cheap cleaning product, Odegaard. Just deal with Saka. Deal with Emil Smith-Rowe. Apart from that, defensively, we can get at them. We've got Son, we've got Kane, we've got Kulusevski. Physically, we will out-muscle them. We will outpace them with Sonny's pacing behind. We can take Arsenal to the cleaners here on Thursday night. And I want to see that happen. I want to see us lay down the law from minute 1 right the way through to minute 90. And let's just go at them. Let's take it to them. Let's absolutely rattle them. Let's give them a pasting that they're going to struggle to come back from.
Agreed.
Yeah, and I completely agree with that. If the worst happens and we do say draw at home to Arsenal on Thursday, we would have, it wouldn't be mathematically dead, but we would have to hope they draw the next 2 and we win the next 2. Is that completely out of the question, or would you just say if we draw it's over?
No, we've got to win. If we draw, it's over. A draw is not acceptable. Look, even I'm not that deluded. I mean, look, we've got to win. That is the short and simple of it. If we don't win, it's over. They have the momentum going into the last 2 games. For me, this game is all about winning it and getting the momentum going into the last 2 games. And whoever wins this and has the momentum going into the last 2 games is a serious shot of getting top 4, in my opinion. It has to be a win. No draw, top 4 is over.
Agreed.
David, recently there's been a lot of talk about Conte's future and him being backed, and those noises that seem to be coming out of the club at the moment is that whether we get Europa League or Champions League, it does seem like we're going to be prepared to back Conte, and if that happens, hopefully that'll satisfy him to stay another year at least. And if that is the case for you, does that kind of take the pressure off a bit in terms of getting top 4, or is it still as imperative whether he is going to stay or not?
Look, at the end of the day, I think Champions League nights is what the fan base really remembers, them big nights, and I think everybody wants to be in it. We've gone through a lot of hurt over the last couple of years. We've been out of it, and we want to get back there. Look, I don't think it'll make too much of a difference in terms of some of the players that will attract to this club. I mean, look, we got Romero when we were in the Europa Conference League, and we got Rodrigo Bentancur and Kulusevski when we weren't even in any European football in January. So I still think we can still go and get some of our targets to come here. I think the only thing where it might make a difference is if Arsenal or Chelsea have some of the same targets, because they'll have Champions League football. The players will more than likely go there because they have that to offer than what we do. But if our targets are completely different, I don't think it affects us. But look, at the end of the day, we've took 8 points off Man City and Liverpool this season, the 2 best teams in Europe and the 2 best teams in the country. And if Conte can do that with a disjointed squad that he's got right now, because for me, the weaknesses are from midfield backwards. I would like other options in the forward areas, of course, coming off the bench. But in the starting 11, the weaknesses are from the midfield backwards. That's where the weakness is. And if we can plug them and get in some serious players and form a nice cohesive unit, I'm not worried. I actually think next season we'll make a good stab at the title. I think we'll be in a race up until about 28, 30 games. Now, whether what we do from there on out is a different story, but Conte will definitely, next season, he just needs to back in this season. Just give the guy what he wants. And it doesn't have to be massive amount of money. I mean, I spoke to you boys there only last week about Liverpool's recruitment before the Liverpool game, how it can be done. They're an example. I don't want to hear anybody comparing us to the like Folly Dark money. We do not have it. Compare us to someone like Liverpool, who've done shrewd, smart business, picked off the likes of Southampton. They've got in quality players. They've identified players with certain attributes that they need to fit Klopp's system. And that's the way we need to approach this summer. Our scouting and our buying has really let us down and been a major factor of why we have been where we are the last 2 years. And we've got to get that spot on. And if any manager has proven at this club that he deserves to be backed unequivocally, it's Conte, because he's come in and he's turned us from the way we were under Nuno and the way the Premier League's after going this season, we would have ended up finishing in the bottom half of the table. And the fact that he's come around, turned it around, he's got a player like Ben Davies and Dyer, who all the fans wanted gone, turned around their season. Don't get me wrong, I still want upgrades on them, and I have reasons why, but they've turned around this season. He's managed to form a defensive partnership out of them when one of the greatest managers in the world, Jose Mourinho, couldn't. Now, don't get me wrong, Romero coming in has probably aided that. Emerson has slotted in the last couple of games, even though Doherty's been out injured. He's turned around Doherty's career at Tottenham. He's turned around Session's career at Tottenham. A lot of players who people wanted gone, who were just showing so many mistakes week in, week out when they were playing under different managers. All of a sudden, he's formed a cohesive unit out of them. So if anyone deserves to back in and deserves to get what he wants at this club, it's Conte.
Yeah, I completely agree. And the fact that Arteta signed a new contract for next season already, despite what's happening from now to the end of the season, what do you think of? Let's go to you. What do you think of him signing that contract before the end of the season, and without them knowing whether they're going to finish 5th or 4th? Is it weird timing, or do you think it doesn't really matter to them in terms of their project?
When I first heard the news of Arteta signing, I thought it was a bit too soon, but having thought about it a bit more, I mean, now they can literally only finish 4th or 5th, and 4th or 5th is obviously a massive upgrade on what they had last season. They finished 8th, so the signs of progress are clearly there with Arsenal. So I thought it didn't really matter in terms of their project, and if they finish 4th or 5th, it's still a massive step forward in what they were last season.
Yeah, I agree. But in a weird way, does them knowing that they're going to have Arteta next season, give us not an advantage, but like, you know, you if you'd ask me if would I take Arteta being there for another season, knowing that Conte's staying, you'd still say we have the upper hand in that one.
100%, 100%. And I think even if they finish fourth and we finish fifth, Conte is going to be so much more valuable at Spurs than Arteta is at Arsenal, and that's just the facts of the matter. Conte is an elite manager, and Arteta's just a guy coming through the ranks at the moment. I mean, this is his second full season in management. So when you have someone like Antonio Conte, not only just managing the team, but involved in the recruitment structure with Paratici as well, I think it's a massive card in our favour, to be honest. And I think that with Arteta next season, it seems as though they are going in the right direction. But with Antonio at the helm of Tottenham, we can definitely overtake them. I have no two ways about that.
Do you agree with that, David? If Arsenal will have Arteta for next season, but does that not worry you if Conte stays?
No, not whatsoever. To be honest with you, look, we've got one of the greatest managers in the world, one of the best 5 managers in the world, in my opinion. He's definitely outside Klopp and Guardiola. Conte is one of the best managers in the world. And for me, look, with Arteta, don't get me wrong, I think he's done a good job. I think he's got rid of a lot of the problems at Arsenal, and he's starting to build something. But when I look at the projects and I think, who's is going to develop quicker, who has the potential to develop theirs quicker, and try and catch the likes of Liverpool and City in this country. And for me, I think it's Conte all day long, and I think he's proved that with some of with how he's formed such a cohesive team out of what we've had out of the bare bones. And for me, I definitely think Conte.
The fact of the matter is, right, Arteta being at Arsenal does not scare us one bit, or does not scare me one bit at all. Let's say if they were to appoint Antonio Conte, now that would scare me. That would scare me because that's a real signal of intent. And to be honest, I think Arsenal fans should be scared that Spurs have Antonio Conte at the helm if we back him. But that's only if we back him.
But the thing is, we've a proven winner in charge. We've got a proven winner. Arteta, he's won an FA Cup with Arsenal. Fair enough. I mean, he's won more than what we have over the last few years. But in terms of being able to compete with the likes of a City and a Liverpool, it's going to be Antonio Conte, and they're the teams you're going to have to be on par with, or at least find a way of getting results against. If you want to win an FA Cup now, if you want to win a Carabao Cup, if you want to try and challenge for the Premier League, because you're going to have to play one of them at some stage in any of them cups, because one of them, or at least two of them, always get to the latter stages. So in order to even win a trophy now, you have to compete with them, and Conte has the tactics to do that. We're unbeaten against City this year, beating them twice. We're unbeaten against Liverpool this season, drawn with them twice. I probably should have bet them twice.
Yeah, I agree with that. So you feel like under Conte, we're more going to be more likely to challenge for big things than Arsenal will under Arteta, even though Arsenal are progressing in the right direction at the moment.
100%. I just think Conte is a better manager, to be honest with you, and I think. I think he'll get back this season, and I've seen what Conte has done at Inter. We've seen all what he done when he came to Chelsea that time, and I just think the guy he's just proven he has a system, he has a method, to be able to get everybody on his side and everyone pulling in the right direction, and then that results and translates to performances on the pitch, which then gives you results. And for me, this guy has it all. Arteta, look, he's a good tactician. He's Pep's side girl, but at the end of the day, Conte has been there, done it. He's wore the trousers. He's won a league in Italy, a couple of leagues in Italy. He's won the Premier League, you know what I mean? And he can do it again. Arteta, like I said, he's only won an FA Cup.
The fact of the matter is, Dave, if Daniel Levy didn't do us the dirty and hire Nuno and not give, because the only reason he didn't sign Conte in the summer is because he didn't give Conte the money that he wanted in terms of wages. What he ended up doing was sacking Nuno, paying him off, and then ended up giving Conte the money he wanted anyway, right? If we brought in Conte in the summer, we would be clear in fourth right now, and this Tottenham-Arsenal conversation wouldn't be happening right now.
No, 100%. I mean, look, we'd probably be sitting in third right now if we had Conte from the start of the season. But look, I think Conte also alluded to saying that, he wasn't quite ready for it as well. But look, that's in the past. It's all ifs, buts, and maybes. This summer, we've got to keep the guy at all costs. We've got to keep Harry Kane at all costs. and we've got to build on it this summer, and we've got to give them every penny available this summer. Because if, like I said, if any manager over the last couple of years between Jose and Nuno, or if you want to throw Mason in there, has deserved that, since Pochettino deserves the backing, it's this guy.
Absolutely.
Got to do it at all costs, because if you do it next season, we will end up getting Champions League. 100% we will.
Do you think Arsenal, this season have had good circumstances fall in their favour? Or do you think, that even if they have the extra games next season and all that kind of stuff, they can have a similar season? Because next season, obviously, they're not going to be playing one game a week. They're going to have European football. I don't know if he can afford to leave the cups as early as he did this season as well, because FA Cup they left that pretty early and stuff. Will he be more under pressure if that happens next season? So do you think Arsenal will be able to cope maybe with the added games and all that kind of stuff? Or have they been lucky this season or not really? Do you not see it that way?
I think they have been lucky. Look, we all know we know Europe. Was it Conte with Chelsea won the league when they had no Europe?
Yeah.
I believe. You know what I mean? So no Europe does make a massive difference, because you have one game a week to focus on. You're a lot fresher going into that game. It's not as much quick turnaround. You have all week to work on your tactics and work on every minute detail of the game and be able to plan it and execute it. Whereas when the games come round thick and fast, that Arsenal squad would be stretched. There would be a lot more injuries. There'd be a lot more fatigue to it. And look, me personally, if I was Arsenal and he missed out on top four this season, I would sack him. Because if we get top four, we've got Antonio Conte, one of the best managers in world football. We've got Champions League, and we bring in the right players this summer. We can set a nice little gap between like top four and then the likes of Arsenal and Manchester United and stuff like that. Because, I mean, how many times do you have to keep giving Arteta a chance to get top four and he doesn't get it? And he's been massively aided by not having the midweek games this season. Like you said, going out the FA Cup nice and early and stuff like that. So they've had more or less their best squad available through them all season. I don't think Arteta copes as well. In fact, I know he doesn't cope as well when there's European football and that, because you see what happened last season. Look where they finished. They finished outside of Europe. But yeah, okay, they managed Europe decent enough that season, but at the end of the day, they finished outside of Europe. And for me, like if Arsenal, I think, look, both clubs are in a bit of a situation. If Tottenham lose Conte this season, you're going through a whole nother process, bringing in a new manager, backing him again and stuff like that, and you're in danger of just falling right adrift. Because Liverpool and City have took it to new heights. Chelsea are always going to be thereabouts. And then there's that fourth spot. But Manchester United have a massive project on this summer. I'd be surprised if they challenge for Champions League next season. And then, like, if Tottenham get it, Arsenal, they're gambling on hoping that Arteta can bring them Champions League next season. And that's a massive gamble to fall further adrift. And I think they'd have to cut their losses and bring in someone of the caliber of a big manager to be able to compete with the managers in this league, because now some of the best managers in the world are coming here.
What do you think? Do you think this season, considering the circumstances Arsenal have had, is it more of a missed opportunity for Arsenal to miss out on top four, or would it be more missed opportunity for Spurs?
It's a big question. I mean, I don't know. I think like a lot of the runs that Arsenal have been on this season, like when they went on that big run at the beginning of the season, like every time they won a game, a manager would get sacked at the end of it and something like that. I mean, they played teams at specific times where they would want to play them, but that's just the way the fixture list goes. And unfortunately, they got the rub of the green in that situation. But who needs Champions League more? Probably Spurs. I would say, need Champions League more right now. I think Arsenal, even if they finish fifth, you would say it's a step in the right direction. They're growing, and it's a massive upgrade on eighth. And yes, obviously getting fifth is a massive upgrade to where we finished last season. But with Antonio Conte at the helm, with the money that we need to spend this summer, I think obviously Champions League, I think, would be more important for us. So probably a bigger loss for us than it would be for Arsenal.
Yeah, but in terms of the circumstances of both clubs right now, with the no European football for Arsenal, playing one game a week and all that kind of stuff, it's not. Are they going to have? They're not going to have that luxury next season, will they? So, in that sense, if they don't get top four when they're not playing any European football, can they expect to push on when they do?
it depends what kind of summer they have. It depends who they bring in. It depends what kind of recruitment they have. I think it all boils down to that. And don't forget as well, they didn't have to contend with us. They only had to contend with us for half a season. The first half of our season was absolutely shocking. We could hardly get a shot on target for the whole of our first half of the season, pretty much. And we're here right up, breathing up their asses. So I think that they're going to have bigger worries next season than just Tottenham as well. I think Man United will be back there. Whether they're going to challenge for top 4, they'll be up there. Chelsea will be better next season as well. So I think, and obviously we're going to be better next season. So yeah, it's a big ask for Arsenal to finish in the top 4 next season, in my opinion.
Talking about Chelsea, Dave, they dropped points on the weekend and Arsenal are only a point behind them. We're 5 points behind them. Is there any chance we can hope for Chelsea to slip out the top 4 instead of Arsenal?
I mean, look, it's a huge ask. It's a huge ask. If we beat Arsenal, and Chelsea can drop a couple of points, I mean, it's definitely on. But look, my eyes isn't set on third. I think Chelsea would probably just do enough to be able to cement that third spot, over the remainder of the games. But for me, no, I don't think so. I think top 4 is the best we can hope for.
Yeah, top 4. Do you think Chelsea, any chance Chelsea get dragged into it?
No, I think Arsenal can catch Chelsea, but I just can't see us catching Chelsea, to be honest. I think there's just too many points at this stage of the season. Chelsea's fixtures look kind as well. I think 4th is probably our ceiling this year.
Yeah, I have to agree with that. Yeah, and it's just such a massive week. What do you think the players are feeling, Dave, gearing up to the game? Obviously, Davis and Dyer have been in the talking big talk over the last few games about how they know how big the game is, and we know that it's going to be an amazing atmosphere. How do you think what do you think the Conte's telling the players in the build up to this game?
Just go out and win. Absolutely.
Lose or I kill you. Win or I kill you.
or like Mourinho says, just go out there and see you next Tuesdays. I mean, at the end of the day, look, I would hope the players are excited about this sort of game. I know Harry Winks is probably nervous and probably having to ring him and get him out to come out of his wardrobe, just to go train and stuff like that. But the rest of the squad, I'd say I would hope the likes of Romero, I'd say, is licking his lips. I'd say he can't wait. I'd say sitting there with pictures of Odegaard and Saka on the wall, just sitting there in a dark room with just a light over them, just waiting to get them. I'd say I would hope Dyer and Davies, for as much talking as they do, I want to see a good performance. They do a lot of talking. Fair play to them. They actually stepped up against Liverpool, but before that, they've been known for turning their backs on the ball like they're being splashed with water. So I should hope that they're up for it. At the end of the day, I heard the right stuff said after Zagreb last season, leading up into the North London Derby and stuff like that. And look how we went out there and absolutely capitulated. I don't care what these players say in the press anymore. I'm at the point where I just care. I don't care about words. Anyone can say things. It's all about actions and what they do on the football pitch that counts at the end of the day. And I've heard so much down the years of players in the press talking, we're going to put it right, we're going to do this, we're going to do that, and fail to deliver. And I think Conte should actually be saying that to them this week. This is what you all said last year going into that derby game after the Zagreb, and look what happened. This time you go out there and you put it right. This is your home territory. You cannot let the noisy neighbours from the library come into our stadium and bully us and silence our crowd. We've got to restore some pride around London, and that starts in North London first. So we've got to get out there and absolutely kick them, turn it into an absolute war zone, and just play them off the park and give them, like I said earlier, an absolute beating that it will rattle them going into the next 2 games.
The fact of the matter is that this game shouldn't even need a team talk to get the players up for it. This game doesn't need any of that. The Spurs players will be in and around London. They'll come around loads of Spurs fans during the week, and they'll know exactly how much this game means. And not even if this game doesn't have top 4 riding on the line or a top 4 battle like this. This game means the world for us. Even if it's got nothing on it, even if it's a nothing game at the end of the season where no team can do anything, it still means everything. But now it really, really means everything. It's the biggest North London derby I can remember for a long time, and it really shouldn't need a team talk. And the noise around the stadium should be enough just to get the players up for it. And you know what? if Arsenal win this game on Thursday night, which I can't fathom, if they do win it, then unfortunately, as much as it hurts me to say, they deserve top 4 if they come and beat us at our patch.
Yeah. 100%. No, 100% to do. Look, and they gave us a hefty pasting earlier on in the season as well. So of course they deserve it if they beat us twice.
Yeah, you have to sadly agree with that, and I hope the players, understand the importance of what is happening on Thursday, and they show that they not only do they have pride for the shirt and pride for themselves, and they show that they deserve to be playing Champions League football, and they need to show that on Thursday if they're going to have any shot of getting all 3 points, because at the moment, as much as we've done well since Conte's come in, when it's really mattered, we've faltered, and we can't do that on Thursday.
Yeah.
But yeah, look, Dave, let me just read out some super chats. First of all, from the American Canker says, I hope we get top 4, but if we don't, it's an opportunity for going deep in the Europa League with Conte, maybe more exciting than Beale being in the CL with a thin squad like a la West Ham, but better, of course. Would you still be excited about a potential Europa League journey next season, Dave, if we weren't to make Champions League?
I mean, look, I got excited about the Europa Conference League journey this season until the players let me down and threw the toys out the pram. All I'm going to say on this is if we fail to make top 4, and a lot of these players are here next season, I don't want to hear excuses that they can't get up for these games or they don't want to be travelling on Thursday nights, because you're the reason why we're here. You failed to produce against Brighton. You failed to produce against Brentford when you had the chances. You failed to grind out results earlier on the season. So you're the reason why we're here. So I don't want to hear you crying or making excuses or the manager cut the squad into 2, one that travels and one that stays home, concentrates on the Premier League game, because you're the reason why we're here. So I don't want to hear it out of any of these players. And at the end of the day, no matter what trophy we're in, even if we're in another Audi Cup in pre-season, I want to win it and I get excited about it. Because at the end of the day, football's all about winning trophies. It doesn't matter what sort of trophy it is. The players and at the end of the day, we just need to lift one and then the rest will follow. So I would be excited. Look, don't get me wrong. I mean, I would be extremely disappointed, bit pissed off, upset if we don't get top 4. But ultimately, I understand the way we've turned our season around. I'm still sort of proud of. I want to be in the Champions League. That's the holy grail. But so be it. If we end up in the Europa Conference League, look, I'm not going to sit here and cry about it all season because it could be a long journey. What I will do is get on the train and enjoy it.
Do you think if we have to spend another season in Europa League, then Kane signs a contract in the summer, regardless of backing?
I think it all comes down to the backing this summer, and if Conte commits to the future of the club, I think Kane will. I think that's what it comes down to. I don't think it comes down to if we make Champions League or if we make Europa League. I think it solely comes down to if Conte sees a vision at this club. And if Conte sees a vision at this club, then we know we're on to good things here, and Kane will know that too.
Yeah, but if, let's say, Conte says, look, I'm not going to sign a new contract this summer, but I'm going to see where it goes. Do you think Kane
will do the same?
So you don't think he'll sign a new contract in the summer?
No.
But if he doesn't sign a new contract in the summer, do you not think, are we forced to take a high offer if it comes in?
Probably, potentially, we might be. But the thing is, Man City look all set to sign Haaland now. The only other option in my mind is Manchester United. And I don't know if Man United go for him this summer. Who knows? We don't know. But I think if a big offer comes in for Kane, let's say it does, then it's something that we will have to consider. Otherwise, we risk losing him for free. Yeah. But to be honest, me personally, I would not accept the offer and let him run the contract down for free.
Surely, though, Kane doesn't go to United. That's a backward step. I mean, they're an absolute free fall. There's more of a structure.
So a new project is starting there now.
Yeah, but it's not going to hit the ground running straight away. That's going to have teething problems. And at the end of the day, we're in a much better position now to be able to finish and compete for anything for trophies than what Man United are. So for me, that would be a backward step. I think Haaland going to City is absolutely massive. Where else does he go in England? I don't think he'll want to uproot his family. I think he's happy living in England. And at the end of the day, I think, like you, Ben, I think if Conte stays and commits and he's happy with the backing he gets, I also think Kane stays. But I also think Haaland going to City has a huge impact on whether Kane signs that contract or not. It's kind of like, do I see out my career here and roll the dice one more time and, sign a new contract and see how we get on under Antonio Conte and catch Jimmy Greaves' record, go for the Premier League record? Or do I go abroad? And I don't think going abroad probably, interests Kane as much. And I think he will stay at Tottenham. I think that Haaland going to City has a massive impact on it. I think he looks at it, he's like, well, City would be the only team realistically to go to. Liverpool, I don't think he'd go to Liverpool. I don't think Liverpool have the money to stump up for him either. So for me, I think he's no option but to stay at Tottenham now.
But you don't think he might be a bit frustrated, seeing as last summer he tried, obviously the club weren't going in the right direction, we all know that, and he tried to move on. He didn't get his move. Now the situation has changed with Conte and everything, but if we still miss out on top four and he has to go a third season without Champions League football, will that not be a big source of frustration for him? Or could you point to him and say, look, you didn't play for the first 19 games and it's partly your fault?
Exactly. Look, at the end of the day, I mean, he can sit there and complain all he wants. Look, don't get me wrong. The guy's been a fantastic leader at this football club. He scored umpteen amount of goals, and he's really propelled us to where we've been under Pochettino with his goals and stuff like that. And he's definitely took the club forward, and he's absolutely world class. But at the end of the day, he doesn't escape criticism either. He's got to stand up and be counted as well. You can't take the praise when it's true and then run away, or take the praise when you deserve it and then run away when things get tough. At the end of the day, you're another part of the reason. First part of the season, for the first couple of months, you were dog shit. You weren't even in shape, and then as well, in some of the games over the course of the likes of a Brighton or Brentford, where you expect him to more stand up than anybody because of the caliber of player he is, he also went missing. So at the end of the day, he's got to take as much accountability as a Ben Davies or an Eric Dyer for turning their bodies and not getting blocks on the ball. At the end of the day, every player that has contributed this season, they all have to take a piece of the blame, in my opinion. So he's not exempt from it. And if I was him, I would say, okay, I'd be big enough to stand up and say, look, it's my fault. I can't leave Tottenham like this. I had nowhere near one of my best seasons. It's a complete drop-off in terms of the season I had the season before. I have to stay here and turn this around. I have to fire them back to Champions League. He can sit here and complain about Champions League and trophies all he wants. And I love this guy to bits, but at the end of the day, he cannot tell me he hasn't had an opportunity to win trophies here. He's had a Champions League final. He's had a couple of league campaigns. He's had Carabao League Cup finals, many semi-finals we got to. He's had the opportunity here to win trophies. Has he done all he can in them games? Maybe not. Have we had the best players to help him go and win the games? No, we haven't. But at the end of the day, he also is a massive part of the reason why this season we're not inside top four. So he has to take part of the blame. I don't buy into this. I want to go and win trophies and I want to leave here to get Champions League football. You're here. Do something about it.
Yeah, fair enough. Would you think we would be tempted by a big offer if he refuses to sign a contract? Regardless of who it came in from.
It's getting into that territory, though, isn't it? Where you
2
kind
years
of
to go, yeah.
Do you let him run down his contract? Do you wait till next summer? And he commands half the fee than what he does.
Be realistic about it. Who's going to come in for him and put that big money on the table?
PSG maybe. Poch? Well,
he's not going to go to PSG.
No, he won't go to Newcastle. That's
he
not
ain't going to Newcastle or Manchester United this summer. Why would he go to Man United, who are also not even going to be in the Champions League? It doesn't make sense.
That's what I was saying. I don't think there's anywhere for him to go.
There is nowhere for him to go unless there might be somewhere to go if next season doesn't work out. At the end of next season, that's more likely. But at the end of this season, I just can't see it.
Yeah.
All right. Well, I think that is all.
No predictions?
Oh, yeah. Predictions, of course. That's not all yet. Not just yet. Dave, North London Derby. What are you thinking?
Oh, do you know what? I have a good feeling about this one, boys, and I genuinely do believe this. I think we can win this 3-4-0.
Wow.
3-4-0. Clean sheet as well.
I think we score early, and I think we make it a long, hard day for them. And to be honest with you, I think we beat them 3-4-0. I think every player will be up for it.
Oh, and Nketiah does seem to struggle to score when you don't lay it on a plate for him. That's the truth.
Has he even scored a goal this season that hasn't been laid on a plate for him?
You can argue his second against Leeds. That was a nice finish. But,
Right.
other than that, he's either tackled the goalkeeper or he's been played through one-on-one by the opposition defenders.
Or he's been tackled twice in a box and still got the ball.
Yeah, I don't know how. No, he's had a bit of luck, but hopefully Romero still will stop that. Prediction for Thursday night.
It's going to be a difficult game. I think Arsenal are going to sit in a low block this game. It's going to be basically like Burnley coming to Spurs. It's going to be like one of those games. It's going to be very difficult for us to find some space. It's going to be difficult for us to work our game and stuff like that. We've seen when teams come in a low block to Tottenham before, we struggle big time. But if we can't get that early goal, I think the floodgates can open. I really believe that. So I think with the fans, with the backing, I think we're going to start this game at 100 miles per hour, and I back us to get that early goal, like Dave said. So I think that it's going to be a big victory for Spurs on Thursday night, under the lights at Tottenham, the first North London derby with a packed house in. I mean, the last one was like 1,000 fans or something. This game is literally going to raise the roof on the stadium. We're going to get an early goal. Not going to hear a peep out of those Arsenal fans the whole game. And I'm going for a nice 3-1 victory to Tottenham Hotspur.
Yeah, I'm hoping we're going to bully them on Thursday. I think we're the physically stronger team. I think we have the personnel to bully them. I know they're a young team, and if you get stuck into them, they could potentially fold. And we
Gabriel's got a hot head. Jack has got a hot head.
Let's hope, and just got to hope they start to crumble. But I think we have the match winners. They don't. We have the more experienced players. We have the strength.
Pass it to them in the box.
They have a team who are definitely, probably you could argue, are more settled than us in a sense that they've probably been together for longer, and they've been grinding out results of late. But we're not going to make it as easy as the other teams have. And we're not going to hand it on a plate for them. We're going to make it a lot harder for them to get goals than they have been getting recently. And look, to be fair to them, they've defended resolutely, but they always take the lead and have something to hold on to, and we've got to make sure we don't give them that. And we have to score the first goal and then see what they're made of. So I'm agreeing with Ben. I'm going with 3-1 to Spurs. I think we're going to win this game and make sure that top four goes down to the wire. It's going to be an amazing battle. It's going to be an intriguing battle. Hopefully Spurs come out on top. I'm looking forward to it. I'm sure Brian Daigle's looking forward to it. We're not going to hear from him, unfortunately, for the rest of the stream. But look, Dave, thank you very much for joining us. It's going to be a massive week ahead. There's going to be a lot of nerves. There's going to be a lot of excitement. But looking forward to it.
No, look, I'm absolutely buzzing. Look, another good show. Slightly rattled at the start with the rough start, but Daigle brought the comedy factor. Thanks for that, Daigle. But look, at the end of the day, I hope everybody that's in here now, if you're not lucky enough to go to the game, please come and join it with me on the pre-match pump-up. That's why these games are there. For anyone that can't enjoy the atmosphere at the games, you can come here and still have a bit of atmosphere with some Tottenham fans and hopefully enjoy it in the pre-match build-up. So I hope to see everybody on. I want to see everybody on with their Spurs stuff on as well. Let's represent this club with pride. I see a lot of Arsenal fans in the chat today. I just want to say it's amazing that they're absolute giving him a rim job now. But yet, a couple of weeks ago, they wanted him gone. The process was over and they wanted him gone. Just goes to show how flip-floppy they are.
Yeah, I mean, it's like every few weeks it changes. Every few weeks, the general consensus is Arteta out. He has a few lucky wins. Oh, Arteta in. Oh, Arteta out. I mean, I've never seen a more flip-floppy fan base than Arsenal than ever before in my life, literally.
We just need to make sure we finish above them. That's the main thing. If we do that, they can talk about process all they want. All right, Ben, thank you for joining me once again. As always,
You're welcome.
Absolute pleasure. We've got some special North London Derby content coming to you before the North London Derby, so keep a keen eye on the Tottenham TV YouTube channel for that one. Looking forward to it. Obviously, we're going to be at the big game on Thursday. You're going to have Becky and Josh King doing the watch along on Thursday in the studio, so keep your eyes out there. But look, there's plenty of content to come between now and Thursday. Like, subscribe, and comment. And as always, come on, you Spurs.
Come on, you Spurs.